Hey guys, Necroxix. Today I wanted to talk about Exitlag. This is not a paid endorsement, but I'll give full transparent disclosure. So this will be hopefully not too complicated of a video. I wanted to cover Exitlag. What is it? Where are you going to get it? How much is it going to cost you? And then give you a tutorial overview as well as my review. So pros, cons. So full disclosure, I have an affiliate partnership with Exitlag. They gave me a referral link. They're letting me use their service in exchange for talking about it, etc., etc. They're not paying me to do this video. They didn't even ask me to do this video. I wanted to do this video after using it for about a month or so. First off, what is it? Exitlag is basically a ping booster or game tunneling service. It's basically a type of proxying or VPN-like technology between you and the game that you're playing that can improve either your ping or make it more stable. And if you told me that like 2-3 years ago, I would have just called you an idiot. That's not how the internet works, but it's not that simple. Like it all started, I think, with WT Fast, and then there's been a few more since, Ping Zapper and Mudfish, and Mudfish was what I used for, I think, almost 2 years. In the case of games like Blade and Soul, where it was extremely latency sensitive, there was a massive difference when you used any ping booster as opposed to not. And there's any number of reasons why they work, and they don't always work for everyone. And depending on the service, the servers and node hops you go along, you may get different results under any number of circumstances. So it's one of those things where you try it. If it helps, then you know it works. If it makes no difference, then you don't worry about it. Where are you going to get it? Well, go to the description below. I'll have a referral link. Don't just type in exitlag.com. I don't benefit if you don't use the referral link. Full disclosure. I benefit if you go through the referral link. Use it. How much is it going to cost you? Well, let me see. I click on plans. So here's their plans, and I will go by US dollars. $5 a month if you go monthly, $14 for 90 days, $26 for half a year. If you're in Europe, we'll just go by the monthly one for £450. I don't know what Real is. It's a Brazilian-based company. Maybe that's their currency. I don't know. They don't take bottle caps or pubes for that matter. Oh, that's instant demonetization. There's some good news. If you use the code NECRO, they gave me a discount code that you guys can use. I don't know if you have to use the referral link that I provided in addition or not, but you might just be able to do the code NECRO. Put in NECRO, 15% off. Alright, so now let's do a little basic overview of how to use it. So when you go to the web page, let's say you already signed up, you get a 3-day free trial right off the bat. But you don't have to put in your credit card details or anything to get that 3 days. I'll go more over that on the pros and cons. You download it, you install it. I'm not going to show you how to install programs. You should already know that. And then you run it. In my case, because it's already got my login information, it's set to auto connect. And it'll look something like this. So here we have just the front screen. You're not going to have anything in the recent just yet, but you'll have like a whole list of stuff on the left, all the games, as well as a big thing here that shows you your connections. I'll show you what that does later. Under Tools, I'm pretty sure it starts default in English, but it might not. So if it doesn't, the second button up here, interface language, you got English, Portuguese, and again, this is a Brazilian-based company. Russian, Spanish. These are my settings. I don't have it start with Windows automatically. I just have it enabled when I start Exitlag, so it's already on as soon as the program's running. I don't do the optimize automatically. For most people, that might not be a bad thing. And I use high for accuracy and route optimization. There's some options here that allow you to limit your upload speed on other applications. And that's actually potentially good. Now, if you are looking to improve your ping in games and limit fluctuations and stuff, first off, you really need to make sure you're using a router and having your QoS enabled, preferably a good router, something that can support algorithm for traffic shaping such as FQCoddle. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I apologize, that's going to go over your head. It's a big topic, but when I saw this option, this might be useful for people because it will allow you to, at least in theory, limit the amount of bandwidth anything besides your game uses while you're playing. So if you have something downloading in the background, or your BitTorrent traffic or something on your computer, it will limit that and allow it to not saturate the whole connection. How well does this work? I don't know. I have not tried it, and because I'm using the most ridiculously over-the-top traffic shaping, I wouldn't be able to tell any difference whatsoever anyways, because it's already like what I'm using is far beyond. So that I can't test, but it is a good feature at least. They have some FPS boost settings, and this was one of the things that was pitched to me as a feature that I really can't say much about it because most of these boosts I'm either already using or don't need. So what I'm talking about, define maximum processing priority for games, define minimum for system processes, running on dedicated cores, that one in particular, and the core parking. Those four features alone are already something I do with a tool called Process Lasso. So I'm able to control like process priorities, system background processes, auto lower priorities on things that are overcommitting in the background, and so on. Core parking is a big one. I have that disabled. As far as NFS last access, updating and the Windows performance counter stuff, I don't know. These I don't know. I don't even use Windows Defender, so that's disabled. I'm using an i5 processor, so hyperthreading doesn't exist. But they're there for you to try, and whether or not they will help, that's up to you. When you click on account, it'll show you your status time or how much remaining time you have. When you created your account for the first time, when you log into it, you should have 3 days automatically here. So you can just try it out for 3 days right off the bat. Now, how do we use this? Well, first you got to find your game in here, and the two I mainly have used this with is Blade and Soul. Normally you would just type it in here, so like Blade, bam. So there's Blade and Soul, and then you would click the drop down, select your region, and then I'll do this with Fortnite instead, because I don't want to mess too much with my settings on the Blade and Soul. So let's say we'll use Fortnite as our example. I'll even clean the routes. It'll look completely blank. If the game uses UDP, you'll see like 2 here. If the game uses TCP, it'll show it 2 in the TCPs instead. So you can also bump them up to 5 if you want, or just keep it at the defaults. You have to select your region. Now, each game and region they have to implement. So this will be something I cover a little more in the pro and cons. But in this case, I'm going to select US. And it's kind of important that you pick the correct region for your game. And some games might have like 2 for the same region. I don't know exactly what the deal there is. So it's doing its routing analysis. You have the option of using routes within your country first, and can't really comment much about this second feature. I don't really know much about the information on previously analyzed routes. Maybe it speeds up the process, but the optimization process is fairly hands-off. And you can see it picked Atlanta 57 and Ashburn 56. It's showing some latency information here, and all you would normally do is hit apply routes. So I don't exactly know what it means when it shows us that we got 2 UDP routes, and here's 2 servers with latency information. Exactly how is my connection going from my computer to the game server? Is it going through one, then to the other node, and then to the game server? Is it only going to the game server through one of these? And if it detects on the fly that it is slowing down, it'll switch to the other. I don't know how it works exactly. I don't know the details. So we hit apply routes, and you can see there's like a little red thing. This button is on. If you turn it off, then I think it turns off the tunnel. So let's go ahead and launch Fortnite. So right now I just loaded only the launcher. You can see there's no activity in Exitlag yet. I'll launch my game. The game is now loaded. So this is what Fortnite's main first screen looks like. I'm signed in and everything, but you'll notice that there's no information here yet. This will differ for game to game, at which point it actually uses the system, the tunnel. So you can see I don't really play this game very often. I mostly use it for screwing around. Now in the case of Fortnite, but for any game, when you're fully in the game, that's when you will know for sure. Because right now you're not going to see any connections. So we'll just click ready here. It'll let it do its matchmaking. It'll connect me to the game eventually. Okay, so now matchmaking is complete, and now we can already see it's connected. There's a connection here, and this is the point you know for sure it works. So here I'm in the pre-lobby thing. I can run around and do my thing. So this is actual gameplay at this point, and this game I believe only uses this one connection. So when you have that happen, like you'll see the game listed here, the region, and then in real time, the latency. So what this means is I am officially connected. Now, I'm not actually going to play, but network connections of proxy applications will be closed. Continue, yes. So if I turn it off, like I hit space, but nothing happens. Like I'm already disconnected. It's the same as if you had just pulled the plug out of your network card. Like I just killed the connection. And how the game will react will differ.
Holy sh! shit, there's a lot of people here. Alright, I got the brick house.
So, simple enough. If you log into your game, you'll see connections. If you do not see connections, but you're actually playing the game, you can see another player, then there might be something misconfigured. First thing I would recommend doing would be closing the game, maybe even restarting Exitlag entirely. Make sure you start Exitlag first before you start your game. So let's go over the pros and cons. First pro, the 3-day trial is pretty big for me because you do not have to sign up for it and then cancel within a time period the way a lot of things are these days. They would normally be banking on you forgetting to cancel, but that's not the case here. So you create your account, you install the program, you get 3 days to try it. Like, you do not have to give up anything to try it. So I highly recommend trying it using the referral link. Another pro, the 15% off code. If you use that Necro code, you get 15% off. The whole thing is fairly inexpensive for $5 a month. To have an extra 15% off, that's a pro. Another pro, the program automatically updates itself when you start it. So if I start the program, right there, it was just for a moment, it checked for an update. So every time there's an update, before it goes to the login, it will download and install the update. You don't have to manually do it. Another pro, I'm asked a lot on stream, like, is it better than Mudfish? Well, yes and no. It's like, the easiest way to answer that is the connection that I've had in the roughly month I've been testing it has been just as good as what I've been used to with Mudfish. And I'm primarily using Seoul, Japan, which typically is about 120 milliseconds of ping, because my connection has to go around the world. So if there's issues, I tend to be very easily able to spot it because the game is very latency sensitive and there's a long amount of distance from me to their servers. And they have 3 servers in Tokyo. It impressed me. Like, it was the first thing I asked them about when they approached me was, first off, like, I'm playing in Japan. Do you guys have servers in Japan? The tunnel itself has been surprisingly pleasant. So that's a nice pro. Also, this is very resource unintensive. I know when I was testing some other programs, they were either really slow to start up or they were just weird. Like, when I start Exitlag, it really quickly connects and I'm good to go. CPU usage is minimal and the optimizations they offer could potentially help people. Very minimal CPU usage and small memory footprint. CPU average 1.5%. So those are the main pros. Like, the biggest one being that the ping stability, the connection stability, and for a fairly new company or service, that's pretty impressive. My number one con is definitely the regional support. Their website shows you 70 plus games, and the list is pretty good. There is an issue that I have that I've seen now with various people that I've referred to Exitlag, and that is they have to implement their tunnel per game, per region. And because it's a Brazilian-based company and it's still fairly new, they don't have everything like for every region. And as a result, the fact that, for example, if we use Quake Champions as the baseline, this was actually a real case scenario. The only game regions they list are Brazil. So if I wanted to play this on Steam right now, I can't because it doesn't have a US tunnel support. So that means I have to contact the company and I need to ask them to implement support for the US servers. And I don't know how many other regions there are. So Exitlag, if you're listening, this is number one complaint is you guys need to over time really help get support for every region for every game you got somehow. I know it's a big undertaking, but without it, I've had several people who came to my stream and they would ask me, about the thing, and I told them, click the referral link, try it. It's 3 days free, and they download it, they install it. I help them out a little bit trying to set it up, and then they click on their game that they're playing and they see it's not even like their region isn't listed. It might be like the US or Europe. And then I'm kind of like, I don't know, now what you can do is you contact them and request it, and they're pretty quick about it from the looks of it. But in the case of like a new customer, it's very frustrating because I recommend somebody try it, and then it's like, my game is listed, but the region isn't, and yeah, you got to contact them. They're not going to bother. And I've had a few people that I've not seen since. So, another con. And this one's going to be a little almost nitpicky because it's isolated to my situation. When the system is designed to basically be mostly hands-free. In other words, an idiot can use it. You do not need to have advanced knowledge of networking protocols or anything fancy like that. Which is great for the masses, not as great for the people that are very hands-on. I like to tinker. I'm an advanced user, and I like to fine-tune things in my own ways. So simply hitting optimize and it gives me everything and I'm done. It's kind of like, well, I kind of want to know what it's doing. I want to maybe tell it only use servers in Atlanta. I want to be able to do that if I had the option. And it becomes a bit more important in the case of me and Bleeding Soul because I play in a region outside of my country. And it's a less common scenario for people to be playing a game outside of their country where the server terms of service prohibit connections from outside the country, but they do not block the IP. Like, that's the exact scenario I'm in. In other words, the connection has to be showing me as coming from Tokyo. It doesn't matter if it's faster to just jump from LA straight to the game server because they're going to see an IP from LA and it's going to allow it. So if I hit optimize it and it, does a ping check, it's not going to block anything. So it can pick other servers, and I don't know what the list here is really doing in relation to the connection. I don't know. And that's kind of the other part of the con. Now, I fixed this problem myself by connecting to a Japanese VPN for my entire machine, and then I used routes within my country and hit optimize. Since there was 3 servers, I went ahead with 3 TCP routes, and since going through the VPN out, it's going to pick the Tokyo servers, and then I hit apply routes, and that's why I don't mess with this anymore. I disconnect from that VPN and so on, and now we're all set. So advanced users may not have as many features and things to play with as they may like, but that only applies to a small number of people. Like, these are isolated incidences, so it's hard to really knock them too much on that. hopefully they add some of that kind of features over time. Another con, and this one's tough for me to really go over because in the month I've played, I've had 3 occurrences where my ping, the latency in game on one connection started going up. The ping on just one of the 4 connections to the game, which is the actual combat, we're at 65,000 milliseconds. That's over a minute of lag. 74,000 milliseconds. Like, the game has no chance of catching up. I'm under the impression it's more likely to have been cases of the game provider's fault, not Exitlag, because Japan's been having some issues with some of their backbones in the country, and even people that are playing the game from inside are having a lot of issues. The only other con I have is the affiliate program. When you go to the web page, when we go to when you log in, you click on panel, you can see your account details, your rating stuff. So this is what I like to call the pyramid scheme model. My current balance, and this is available for everyone. This is not unique just for me. Like, everybody that signs up gets their own referral link so they can refer people. Although I recommend you just refer them to my link instead. That way I make money, or I benefit somehow or other. But I know I've had people that have signed up and also purchased time, but my current balance is still at 0. I haven't contacted them to find out what the deal there is. It's possible that maybe it only updates once every month or something like that, instead of in real time. So whether or not this is an actual con yet, I don't know. I don't know if maybe there's something else going on, but I just wanted to mention it because I'm all about full disclosure. So that's about it as far as a video I wanted to make on Exitlag. Overall, it has proven to be a very solid system. And inexpensive, seems to work really well. The worst of it is just the number of regions supported for any given game, and all the popular ones will have, like, for example, League of Legends, like any of the popular stuff has all the regions. So the more obscure the game, the more likely it is it may not have everything, at least not if you're not in Brazil. But for getting a free 3-day trial, it's definitely worth trying for everyone. The way they have this set up is still good because I can come to you and guys and say, hey, is this good? Well, try it. Just go sign up for an account, download it, install it. You got 3 days, which is enough time to see whether or not it works. Does it improve your connection? If it doesn't, well, nothing lost. Move on. If it doesn't support your game, well, you can contact them and have them add support, and I believe they'll also give you a prepaid code or something along those lines to reset your evaluation time. And I think I will also do this. We're going to do a giveaway. They gave me some codes I'm allowed to give out for 7 days. And I'm going to give away 2 of them on this video. To qualify for the giveaway, you just have to do 2 things. 1, make sure you subscribe. 2, leave me a comment below on this video. Tell me what ping booster services you use and what games you use them with, and what are your thoughts on them. Like, I have other ping boosters and tunnels and VPNs and stuff, so it's always fascinating to hear what people are using and what kind of results they're getting with it. And let's say about a week from now. So on the 18th, February 18th, I will go to a randomizer and pick 2 comments. Then I will send you guys each a 7-day prepaid code for Exitlag. With that said, I'm Necroxix.